Hello, my name is Dr. Nought, and this is Steve Jackson's Sorcery Part 3, and today, look where we almost are, Kariyama! Alright, let's go. The path winds up through low foothills towards an open area in the mountains. As you approach the foothills, you see a wooden palisade, spiked trunks planted to form a fence with a single gate. From beyond comes the sound of chattering and banter. This must be the village the shepherd boy mentioned. Just go inside. You could go in, or skirt around it. No, go in. We gotta see our talking head guy. You pause on the other side of the gate, one hand on your sword hilt, should anyone be foolish enough to spring a trap, but nothing untoward occurs. The village is a small collection of wooden huts, built into a basin with the mountains at its back. In the center is a fire pit surrounded by tables and benches. Several groups are sitting and eating. That is a massive fire pit. Fire crackles and spits. The mid-afternoon heat floods the valley. Alright, what do we have here? We've got leave west, the fire, the kitchens, we'll leave south. Not a whole lot to do in this village. We're going to walk right across the fire. The fire pit is in the center of the village. You walk past low huts. A few figures glance at you, but they show little interest. Fire is kept low and smoldering, ready to be reignited in the evening. A few people surround it, watching and talking. Greetings, you declare to the people nearby. They look up at you with some curiosity. I am a visitor here. So we see, one woman replies, and a few others laugh. Then they seem to lose interest in you and return to staring at the fire and talking to each other in low voices. Someone passes around a charred joint of meat, offering you a bite. Yes, please. Take a bite. The meat is black and sooty, but rich with flavors and spice. No, I'm not taking another bite. I don't want everyone to be upset with me. Having taken your share, you pass the joint on to the next person. You sit down beside the woman who spoke earlier. It looks familiar from somewhere, but you cannot place it. She nods in acknowledgement, but says nothing. This is a beautiful village, you begin. The woman smiles and then pauses to tighten a bootlace, a movement which casually flashes the marriage band on her wrist. Thank you, stranger. We all welcome you, she says. This village is Kariyama, the most beautiful village in Ishtara. I feel like I should have stopped talking to her, because why would this... She might have, like, a jealous husband, or maybe, like, who knows? Just that observation makes me worried that we're gonna get into a fight. And let's just stop. You nod to the woman, and get to your feet once more. I want to find somebody else to talk to. Especially I need to find that guy that we unearthed in the last episode. In the base of the smoldering fire pit are a few pebbles and some sand. You move to reach into the pit, and then pause. There's still plenty of heat coming from the fire. Let's just not get... I don't want to get burned. You leave the things in the fire pit. They're almost certainly too hot to hold. Stranger, one of the villagers declares. We were having a discussion. Who would be most likely to best the other in a fight? A goblin or a wolf? Have we seen such a fight? I know there were werewolves and goblins in Part 2. In Sorcery Part 2. I feel like the wolf would win. Let's say we've seen it. I have seen such a fight. You have, they declare with pleasure. And who was the strongest in battle? The wolf? No doubt. A goblin is cunning and sword-wise, another declares. No wolf is a match for a blade. So either I say the goblins proved unstoppable, or I did not stay to find out. I think it was this. The goblins proved unstoppable. You hear Lorag spitting curses in your mind. Not unstoppable at all. You simply chose not to try. We will ask the Archmage to deliver one of each, decides the villager with a sigh, in the name of learning and scholarship. What is north of this village, you ask? Tunnels? One replies. A few others look uncomfortable. There are tunnels, another answers, but we do not go there. I don't even know how I came up with that question. Why not? The villagers exchange glances. Because there is no need, one replies finally, and there are some dangers. What dangers? Something lives there, the villagers reply darkly. There's no danger here in Kariyama. The Archmage keeps us quite safe. But under the mountain, well... The woman talking sighs. They say magic doesn't work under the mountain. Where do the tunnels lead? The villagers shake their heads. One points sharply downwards, but beyond that, they do not answer. Enough questions, another villager says. Please, don't go to the tunnels. We have no wish to send you to your doom. He smiles and pats you on the shoulder. You toss a nearby stick into the fire, and it begins to gently smoke and smolder. There's a great sense of peace here. You stand and nod to the woman as you head away from the fireside. The sun has reached its highest point now. Out of the shade, the air is baking hot. Alright, let's go to the kitchens then. In one corner of the village is a cook's hut. Inside, a lady is stirring a deep cauldron. She looks up and nods to you through the doorway. The mid-afternoon heat fills the landscape. Okay, well, I'm going to spend as much time in this village as possible because I'm trying to find that one dude. You step inside. Greetings, you declare. You're welcome, the chef replies. If there's something you want, if you don't want anything, there's the door. The chef goes over to a shelf to collect some herbs from a jar. You look into the cauldron the cook is stirring. Meat broth, the cook says, but if it looks like there isn't any meat, that's because it's snatacat. Does it taste good? She shrugs. Some say the invisible snatacat meat is better than the visible stuff. I don't know. It's certainly harder to cook right. The lady pours a little oil into the soup from a flask above the cauldron. Invisible, you ask. Didn't you know, she answers. Snaticats are invisible. Or at least, if they have their eyes closed, then they are. Thin smell of smoke wafts into the tent. Oh, by Throff, the cook curses, and disappears through a flap at the back. For a moment, you are alone. I'm gonna take the oil. While she is away, you grab the flask of oil from the shelf and slip it into your pack. When she returns a moment later, she does not notice. She is red-faced. There's a smell of smoke about her clothes. We can't afford to waste any meat, she says. That could have been most difficult. I had to bat out the fire with my skirt. You ask how much the broth will be. The cook tips her head. Butcher's just been, she replies, so there's plenty to go around. It's 5 gold pieces for a bowl. Jesus, 5 gold? That's too much, you tell her. She shrugs. That's the price. You don't haggle in Kariyama. Let's haggle. I'll give you 2. The cook looks suddenly uncomfortable. She glances around awkwardly. You wish to pay me less than it is worth? Yes? I wish to bargain with you, you explain. You may change the price higher if you want, or if you wish. She looks puzzled. So I might suggest perhaps no gold pieces? Indeed, and I agree to that. She nods. I see. It is clear she is not happy with the idea, but she accepts your gold. You receive a bowl of thick broth in return. In particular, it contains what look like largish bubbles. When you push one of these with a spoon, it moves. Let's not eat the bubbles. Just eat this. Just 1 stamina? You quickly wolf down the soup. It is warm and nutritious. I was going to pay 5 gold for 1 stamina. So I ended up paying 0. Okay, whatever. Let's just get out of here before anything happens. There is nothing more of interest here. You nod to the chef, then turn and leave the hut. Mid-afternoon haze makes the air uncomfortably warm. So what is the clue that we found? It looks like we have to leave. I can't do anything else in here? Huh. Snaticats are invisible when they close their eyes. And then from previously, there's a cave in the cliff at the entrance to the backlands. Okay. It's a bit outdated, but that's okay. I guess we have to leave. Huh. So these are the tunnels, apparently. Can't go to that, so let's go this way. You head past the kitchens to the southern gate and the rising path towards the nearby mountaintop. But just before you leave, a voice calls to you, "Hold!" You turn to look behind you. A lady is standing on the path, beckoning for you to return. You hear Lorag chuckle in your mind. "Now you're for it," he murmurs. What did I do? You return to the lady of the village, calling. "What do you require?" "I'm sorry," she replies, "but you must understand, we are a peaceful, prosperous village." Damn it. Strong arms grasp you on both sides. Stranger, you have committed the crime of haggling and bargaining. How do you plead? You struggle and twist in their grasp, but of course there are too many of them. Your response is clear enough, lady says, with a nod. There's only punishment for crime in Kariyama, she declares. You do nothing. You will pick your moment to escape. You are dragged out of the village towards the plains. Oh, I'm gonna get buried. I'm gonna get buried. Look at me, I'm gonna walk like this. Oh, that didn't work. They're dragging me through huts and stuff. Okay. You're dragged by strong arms across the plains, but somewhere on the way the grip seems to fade. One last struggle and you slip free of their arms and whirl about to find your captors have gone. The fields underfoot disappear, turning to dust. You are back on the endless, desolate plains of the backland. A lucky escape indeed. But now, where will you go from here? Should I just go back? That would be funny. I'm kind of curious. Let's just go back. You walk on across the dusty plain until you meet the edge of the old road. The sun lowers towards the horizon. Soon it will be dark. Hey, remember me? Oh my god. So I could return or screw around. Let's just go inside and see if they're like, what the hell? You return into the village of Kariyama somewhat cautiously. After your last visit here ended so badly, few people pass by and nod your way. No one seems to recognize you, at least not immediately. Let's see. Few goats mill about between the huts. The sun has almost set and the sky has turned a deep purple. What is this though? Yes, let's wait for night because I feel like something's going to happen here. You pass a few hours in idling around the village until the sun dips behind the towering mountains and the air grows cold. Oh, I could sleep here. Cool. Not going to haggle though. You head towards the large hut that is filled with mattresses and cots. It seems to be not an inn, but a communal sleeping place. Few people are asleep already, and look about warily, fearful that you will be recognized, you look about warily, fearful that you will be recognized as an escaped criminal, but no one seems to pay you any special attention. I have a bad feeling about this, but let's just do it. Choose a mattress and settle down. You lie still for a while with your eyes closed, listening to the murmured conversations of other people in the hut. Amidst sundries about village life, one in particular stands out. A young girl, murmuring to her friend. At least one of the tunnels is still open. Don't be a fool, Mia, the other replies. Why would there be tunnels? So the goblins can come in? I'm telling you, I saw one. I went in. Another voice nearby hisses at them to be quiet. I'll show you tomorrow, the girl hisses. You'll see. Her friend appears to shrug, and then the conversation ends. But you are tired and have had enough of eavesdropping. You let yourself rest. Thankfully, you are not hungry. Yeah. You lie back to try to forget your troubles. You are protected here, and your rest is untroubled by dreams. Nice. During the past day, you entered the village of Kariyama and found one new clue. Look at me go. Perhaps spending the night in the village where you were previously arrested wasn't a very intelligent choice. Perhaps you have committed some other transgression without realizing. Either way, when you awaken, it is not in the sleeping hut, but instead a dark and dank rocky tunnel. Oh man. You are in pitch darkness. Whether it is night or day, it is impossible to tell. The air is freezing cold. Where is this? A prison? A trap? You feel about until you find the tunnel wall. I'm not going to cast a spell because if we're in the tunnels, spells don't work. You follow the rough stone wall, stumbling and tripping until you come to a blockade, or a blockage. You feel your way across the stones, hoping to find a chink or hole. There is nothing. How did you get here? Were you dropped down a hole, or is there a trapdoor somewhere? You trace the wall the other way. The passageway curves and bends. The going is difficult, with lots of near dead ends. Then, finally, a chink of daylight appears. It is like water after a long thirst. You have found the tunnel mouth. You hurry gratefully out of the tunnel into the soft, damp air. You are free. Where are you now? Holy moly! Are we on this side of the mountains? Well, that was not what I was expecting. I was hoping to cross this bridge. But I guess... alright. You emerge blinking from the underground tunnel to find yourself on the edge of a vast, deep marsh. From the position of the sun, you can see you are on the other side of the Badubak Ridge. There is only one way forwards, into the mud. Oh, this is not good. This would be so gross. The smell underfoot turns to slop until you are sinking a few fingers deep with every step. Thick smell of rot and decay fills the air. Let's just go. You keep up your pace, hoping the ground will grow firmer further on. And it should, because we'll be out of the past, I guess, and into the present. I don't know. There you go. You wade on through the marsh, which changes to firmer earth beneath your feet. Trees grow up around you, and suddenly you find yourself in the forest once more. As the sun climbs towards its zenith, the winds pick up. The trees loom around you, twisted and old. You explored the forest in the Shamutanti Hills when you met Aliana. That was a mere copse in comparison to this. Copse? I don't know what that is. The forest of Snada is ancient and it is a maze. There are no roads through it, only twisted paths and dead ends. But who knows what secrets it may hide? The forest is beautiful in its own way. Water drips down the leaves and along twisted vines. Birds flutter through the bracken-like canopy. Everything is moist and damp. The path is winding and frequently disappears. Perhaps it has been made by animals and not by people. So this Snada forest is where those Snadicats are, and they're invisible when their eyes are closed. You look into the distance between the trees, but can make out nothing between the thick trunks and tangled bushes. Just keep walking. I'm not going to climb a tree. You stride forwards. We're just going to walk in some direction. Fortunately, we have a map. So, haha. Let's walk this way. East. See if we can get to this this area to the east here quickly. You walk on between the trees. It is very warm now. You begin to sweat under your pack. The smell of rotting leaf mulch fills your nostrils. You catch a glimpse of a bright red snake through the trees. It seems to be watching you. I am not approaching the snake. You ignore it. The snake disappears off into the bushes and vanishes. The pile of boulders here is topped by a patch of yellow moss, much like the one you tried earlier. Let's gather it. You gather up a handful of moss. It is much like the last bunch you ate. I'm just going to stash it for now. You stow the moss in your pack, but it quickly dries and crumbles to so much dust. You are still some distance from the shores of Lake Ilklala, and the voyage you must take across its waters to Lower Zaman. So yeah, where is that? Lake Ilklala. So we're going here. There's a lot of stuff happening this way. And we have, let's see, we have a beacon here, so we're going to shoot for that one. Anything else? Oh wow, this is a big city. And a beacon. Looks like this is kind of in disrepair, so we can probably make it nicer. There's a beacon here. Interested to see what happens. Looks like this could have been a beacon at some point. Or whatever. A hut up top. Cool, interesting. Let's go over this way and see what happens in this opening. This clearing. Oh. You follow what might be a path and might be an old river through the trees of the forest. Trees shelter you from the early afternoon heat. You emerge from the trees into a clearing by a low hill. This is an exposed place. You would be unwise to stay long. What does this say? Skirt the hill. Oh, I can't even go into the hill. On the other side, I'll see it. Okay, so there's a hill here, and there's something living inside it. So we're gonna investigate this in the next episode. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Goodbye.